95% of the time we're able to offer you something that will be relevant to your future study plan.
Every student can go to the uni, right?
The main thing of the personal statement is that the student has an interest in this. We don't expect the students to know what they want to do in the future. Doing a part-time job can teach you sales skills very easily.
Do the school have scholarship for the international student?
Part of what the university is kind of opening the mind a little bit to different possibilities and different career.
After their graduation, do you think it's easy for them to get a job?
Bạn không thiếu thông tin về du học, bạn đang quá sai, rất nhiều thông tin sai. Những gì bạn nghĩ mình hiểu về du học và xây dựng một sự nghiệp thành công ở nước ngoài đang chỉ là bề nổi. Ở trong kênh này, bạn sẽ nghe câu chuyện của những số học sinh trải qua những hành trình thật, đại diện các trường đại học và những người đã xây dựng sự nghiệp thành công ở nước ngoài. Đây không chỉ là lý thuyết mà là những trải nghiệm thực tế. Và nếu bạn thực sự muốn hiểu chuyện gì đang xảy ra, follow kênh và khi bạn chọn đăng ký, muốn giúp chúng tôi tạo ra những video giá trị hơn. Như chúng ta đã biết, Queen Mary University là một trong các trường đại học hàng đầu tại UK, đứng top 4 các trường đại học tại London, thuộc nhóm Russell Group và đứng thứ 110 theo bảng xếp hạng US Ranking năm 2026 toàn cầu. Với vị trí tọa lạc ngay tại thủ đô London, là trung tâm tài chính của UK và cũng là của thế giới. Chúng ta không đến London học để trải nghiệm, chúng ta đến London nơi mà những điều tuyệt vời nhất luôn xảy ra hàng ngày. Với một môi trường học tập đa dạng, với lượng sinh viên đến từ trên 170 các quốc gia trên thế giới, Queen Mary University là một môi trường học tập mang tính chất toàn cầu và với một tỷ lệ sinh viên ra trường có việc làm trên 90% là một mức tương đối cao. Đồng thời, sinh viên Queen Mary University được đánh giá là với mức lương khởi điểm cao hơn so với mặt bằng chung. Tuy nhiên, điểm nổi bật nhất của Queen Mary University không phải ranking, không phải vị trí địa lý, cũng không phải tỷ lệ sinh viên ra trường có việc làm, mà là ở social mobility. Tức là gì? Tức là khả năng hỗ trợ các bạn sinh viên có thành tích không quá nổi bật để trở nên thành công cả trong lĩnh vực học thuật cũng như sự nghiệp. Và đó cũng là chủ đề của buổi nói chuyện chúng ta ngày hôm nay. Và để giải thích lý do tại sao Queen Mary University lại thành công đến vậy trong việc hỗ trợ sinh viên, tham gia buổi nói chuyện có thầy Robert là đại diện của trường Queen Mary. Thầy sẽ giải thích cho chúng ta lý do tại sao.
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Robert Duncan. I'm the Regional Manager for Vietnam at Queen Mary University of London. I've worked at Queen Mary for 6 years, managing the Vietnam market, and I've worked in the university sector for over 15 years. Prior to that, I also lived in Ho Chi Minh City for 3 years, from 2008 to 2010. So I've worked with Vietnamese students for a long time in my career, and pleased to say that we have a really strong intake of Vietnamese students at Queen Mary University of London. We're one of the strongest choices for Vietnamese students. We have some of the highest numbers in the Russell Group come to study with us. And I think that helps Vietnamese students have confidence in coming to us, and also helps for career links. Should the students go back to Vietnam, we have a strong alumni network in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. So yeah, it's nice to speak to you today, and look forward to answering your questions.
Queen Mary is often associated with social mobility. What does it mean in real life?
I think parental views of higher education sometimes do differ from the reality. So we have a lot of conversion programs in our school. So many students will be coming to us having studied undergraduate, and they're coming to study with us for a postgraduate degree. So for example, we have like a computer science conversion, or an AI conversion, or a psychology conversion program. So from an academic choice point of view, we have lots of options for the students. Don't just think because you've studied business at undergraduate that you can't do another subject and you can only do business. The reason we have a really strong suite of postgraduate programs with many different kind of conversion opportunities is to provide that chance for students to switch discipline or gain more experience, specific experience in a kind of marketing or English language teaching or economics and finance. So that's the kind of academic standpoint point of view. I think from a entry-level point of view, we have many different programs as well at different entry level. So most of our standard programs, you would be kind of looking at a 7 out of 10 or a GPA 3.0 out of 4 for entry. So we call that in the UK a 2-1 degree. But there are some programs where we accept a 2-2. So you might not be able to study all of the degrees at Queen Mary, but there will be some option for you. So if you speak to a counsellor and you ask them, what courses can I study at Queen Mary? I would say that 95% of the time we're able to offer you something that will be relevant to your future study plans. So if you have a GPA of kind of 2.6, 2.7 or 6 out of 10 or 5.7, then it's worth having a look at the courses that we offer. And when you get to the university, obviously you're in the same class with students who have lower grades, who have higher grades, but we pay a lot of attention to making sure that every student has the best experience they can when they're studying in London. So that might be if you attend a lecture and you are not sure on some of the content of the lecture, we offer individual support to kind of go over the lecture point to make sure that you understand. We have weekly tutorial groups. We have like online learning sessions, like a chat discussion forum for our students. So there's lots of opportunity for the student to really kind of make Queen Mary their home. We provide the services that we offer. And I think that's what students like about like the campus experience, that it's, although we're in a big city in London, we have the student village, which kind of makes people feel very comfortable and allows them to reach their potential. We know that most students come to us because we're in London. They want to enjoy London, but also I think our environment, being a campus university, is pretty unique in the Russell Group. And I think that really helps students settle into living in a big city in a different country, but also maximizing their time at Queen Mary. So that's, in terms of social mobility, I think that's the opportunity that we provide. Nobody comes and knocks on your door and says you must do X, Y, and Z. I think it's about providing the platform for you to make the most of your time in London. We know for many parents and many students, it is an investment of their time and hard-earned money, and they want to see an outcome from that. And we provide everything to allow that, but it's also important that the student works hard when they are here.
You said that 95% the opportunity that you can give to the student. So that means the student, every student can go to the uni, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, so across the university, I think this is one of the big differences in university education in general in the UK, but I'm talking about Queen Mary today. So we have a strong careers department, and I think geographically being in London maximizes the number of sectors that students can get experience in. So as you said in your introduction, London is the financial centre of the UK. So we have finance companies, business companies, life science companies, computers, AI companies, Microsoft, kind of Facebook, all have offices, everything in London. Our careers team kind of works across many different sectors, and what we try to do is embed careers experience into all of our degrees. So we've actually just launched a year in industry in our School of Economics and Finance. So that allows students to have a 1-year degree and then a year working with a company. That's just been launched. But also I think what is probably more common is the Careers Centre also has careers consultants. So you can go to speak to them in the first week or two that you're at Queen Mary. You can do like interview practice, CV preparation, intercultural training, so soft skills. You can also work part-time whilst you're a student at Queen Mary, so you can work up to 20 hours per week. Now these jobs might not be aligned to kind of your degree, because sometimes they are maybe temporary jobs or kind of working in retail or administration, but they provide valuable overseas experience for you, and you always learn something from a job, right? Even if you can learn teamwork, you can learn kind of make contacts. And what I say to Vietnamese students is there are many Vietnamese companies that have offices and bases in London. So if during your time at Queen Mary, you can maybe get different experiences and then maybe have one experience on your CV that's relevant to Vietnam specifically, then that obviously helps you connect with people, because networking is invaluable, right? And being in London, like where we are, the campus is in East London. It's only a 10-minute bus ride to the financial city. So if you're applying for kind of summer internships, the likelihood is that you're going to have to apply. You're going to have to go attend multiple interviews, because you may be lucky and get the first interview chance, but normally it takes 3, 4, maybe even more goes than that. So being able to attend these interviews quickly and without too much interruption to your kind of weekly schedule is a geographical advantage of studying in London. But as a university, we're in high demand by blue chip companies. So, for example, we work with PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. We have a Flying Start undergraduate degree, which is an accountancy degree. Many of our lecturers are actually still working in the city. So some of them work for these companies. And we have companies come to the campus to speak directly to our students about future work opportunities, to promote their graduate schemes, to promote anything they have available in their offices. We also have within, particularly like economics and finance, we do like trading floor walkarounds, mini internships, mini consultancy projects. So there's lots of opportunity for students to, during their 3, 4 years at Queen Mary, or even if it's just a 1-year postgraduate, there are, I think what students want is to get 2 or 3 actionable kind of demonstrations of them working in London, and allows them to kind of say to a prospective employer, I did this there, I worked on this project, this is what I delivered. And that's what students want now, not just from Queen Mary, but from higher education in general. They want the link. Higher education in the world of employment is very, very linked now. And I think certainly because of where we are, the sectors that we have available on our doorstep, there is a geographical advantage to studying at Queen Mary in London, but also a Russell Group University is a kind of mark of quality. It's known by employers. It's a kind of prestige, status symbol, I think. And I think that's something that's becoming a little bit more important, because there are challenges kind of that are coming our way in terms of the world of employment and the global economy. It's a pretty turbulent place right now. So taking the time to really work on your career is an important step, and making sure that you make the right decision to kind of maximize your time in the UK, I think is important.
We knew that one of our students who graduated at the two of our students who graduated from Queen Mary, they both got the job in London. One worked for a law firm and another one worked for Citibank. And I spoke to her last time when she came back to Vietnam, and she told me that for the first year when she studied at Queen Mary, people already encouraged her to do summer break. So in the summer break, so for the internship, and she got to the second round and she got the internship, and after the second year, she already got the offer from Citibank for the job. So that happened a lot for Queen Mary students.
Yeah, I think it does, but I think it's all, like I say, that student had a clear plan, worked very hard, worked with our careers team, was aware of the internships, probably went early in their studies at Queen Mary to learn about the careers team. I don't think any university can guarantee, do you know what I mean? I think, and this is the language I like to use is we provide the platform, and it's up to the student to kind of use that platform as much as possible. And I think Vietnamese students, they value education, they value the opportunity, and I think as a collective group, work really, really hard to do that. So I think that obviously put her in a strong position working with I meet a lot of the students before they come to Queen Mary, and some of them during their time. And it's a story that I hear a lot, is that the lecturers like working with them. And we have a couple of Vietnamese lecturers within the School of Economics and Finance, within the School of Business. So I chat to them about the students that come their way. They have a more direct link. But I think, as you say, I think we offer one of the best platforms for students to get a career experience, hopefully get a job, and because we offer all the academic stuff, the academic qualities there. You know, the teaching is excellent. The programs are relevant to the modern workplace. We're constantly updating module choice. I mean, you mentioned the law graduate there. One of the schemes we have in our law school is called Q Legal, and this is essentially a law firm run by Queen Mary Law School, and students work with partners from law firms who mentor them. So they work on kind of real life cases. They work with partners and employers who are working in London law firms. So that naturally builds a connection. So the partner might think, well, this student's really, really good. He's worked on this. And then, oh, would you be interested in applying for a formal internship in our law firm? So there's lots of examples. It's an award-winning scheme. It's extremely popular. Students have to apply to do it. Again, nobody knocks on your door and says, you're going to do Q Legal this week. So it's just another example of the opportunity being there, but the student has to take that step to find out about it and to be willing to do it.
So how can you turn like average student to the like the student who prepare for prepare for the career like that? Because and I know that when our student who started the school, they actually quite shy at the beginning, and they change to the different person, and then they got a job. When a lot of students that the schema is the same, they have the same opportunity, but after graduation they couldn't find a job in London, and then they have to go back. So what do you think changed them? The environment at the uni when all other students do the same thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think the opportunity that we offer, the kind of the careers team, the careers consultants in the school, the variety of companies that we work with. I mean, I go to the campus and there's talks happening every day, different types of companies. And a lot of the students, when they come to us, don't necessarily know what they want to do. So if you sometimes, particularly undergraduate students, they know they might want to work in finance and economics, but they have no idea which area. So part of the experience of university is taking different modules and learning about different subsectors within an industry. And I think doing research by attending these careers talks, by going on these kind of walk-arounds with consultancies and everything like that, it just embeds within the student over the life experience. And also kind of just taking a part-time job, I think, helps. So some Vietnamese students work hard. Like that's even when I taught in Vietnam, that came across very clearly from the students that I worked with. So it's embedded into the culture and I think doing a part-time job can teach you sales skills very easily. Like you might not be selling stocks and shares. You might be like working in a shop or something like that. But I think selling is a soft skill, and over the 3 years or 4 years as an undergraduate, that's something that you can develop by kind of just working. I mean, in London, there are lots of events happening, like sports events, cultural events, museums. So even if you might not want to work full-time, like might work part-time all the time, you can still do event work, as and when things. So that's a good way, because you meet different people from outside the university. And I just think that helps build confidence. I think employers want to see people that have given things a try. Like we have a school of medicine at Queen Mary, and one of the things I say to prospective medicine students is that they have an interview for their course. It's one of the few courses that has an interview before they start. And the interviewer just wants to know about the maturity of the student. When they dealt with a difficult situation in their work life, how they overcame it. Now, if you're not doing part-time jobs or not doing any work experience, you're not going to be able to answer that because you don't have any experience. So that's why I say by working part-time, you'll get something. You'll be in a difficult situation. We all have difficult situations in our work life that we've overcome and how we went about that. And I think it's life experience like that is going to be relationship management. It's going to be invaluable for the modern workplace, like the ability just to speak to people and to engage and to be emotionally mature. You can only get that through time spent and by getting involved. So that's kind of the soft skill part of it. The hard skill part of it is just, look, we're a Russell Group university. We work with blue chip companies that admire the education that we provide. They want access to this talent pool because it's self-filtered in some way. They know that they've employed Queen Mary students in the past. They've gone on to do really, really well.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it a little bit more of a time saver for them to just deal directly with our students. And that's where the power of the brand, the power of the global ranking, the power of the research that we do, the academic reputation, all comes through. And so this is why I talk about, I think one of the major differences I've seen in Vietnam, over the past 10, 15, 20 years is appreciation of the quality and the brand of education. Like, you get a degree from one university and a degree from another university. I think in the past, maybe there's a perception that they were exactly the same. I think the market has matured a little bit in the sense that we've seen graduates go back to Vietnam from Queen Mary, and the university has a really strong reputation across the country. We have had some really prestigious members of Vietnamese society come to Queen Mary and go back home. And I think the strength of the brand, we had an alumni reception in Hanoi recently, which was organised at pretty short notice, but we had 30 to 40 attendees. And that's like members of Hanoi society. And I think that access to that is invaluable. And I think that's part of the picture, you know. Life is about networks. And Queen Mary Network is growing in strength in Vietnam. We have over 200,000 alumni registered worldwide, and many of them work in the sectors that students want to work in. And so we have like an alumni mentorship scheme, all of this stuff. So yeah, I think it's a really strong picture for students to kind of be interested in it and to participate in.
Yeah. Do you think that the student, when they study the university, they should looking for internship right at the beginning of the first year or starting at the second year? Which one is better?
So I think like generally in like a 3-year degree, probably normally the students would take like the most kind of, they have 2 years of education behind them. So the internship would probably be the best opportunity. It would be after the second year. But we do have students take internships after the first year. It just may be that they are not as specific in terms of content. So yeah, I mean, in London, you can work over the summer, no problem. There's jobs available over the summertime because it's an incredibly busy city during the summer. For example, on our undergraduate engineering degree, we work with some really famous brands like Rolls-Royce, BAE Systems, and those are kind of really prestigious internships. So you do have to interview them. There's a selection. It's like applying for a full-time job. So we work really hard with our students to try and kind of put them in a stronger position to get those internships as possible. We can't guarantee them. We can't say to every engineering student, you're going to get an internship at Rolls-Royce, because that's just not practical. It's not realistic. So if the students don't get into Rolls-Royce, where else can they go? We have lots of different other companies that we work with. So it's not always about the brand of the company. It's sometimes about the opportunity and project that the student's working on. So in a smaller company, they may be able to work on a slightly more important project, but in a bigger company with a famous more brand name, they're not going to be working. Sometimes they'll be working on a project, but it might be kind of obviously a little bit more self-contained.
Do you think that the employer, they take the student mostly by the uni brand name or the student ability?
I think that's dependent on the employer. I mean, I think that's for them. That's for them to decide. What I would say is that the name of the university opens the door. I think is the best description. I mean, look, we have students and we prepare them for the interviews and everything like that. So I think as a Russell Group university, Queen Mary is a really prestigious name to have on your CV. And I think that helps because we have a track record of academic delivery. Companies know what we do. They've got experience of working with our students. Obviously, some of our graduates will be working there already. So yeah, I think we open the door. I think it's obviously up to the student in their interview how they perform, and we provide interview practice and guidance. But the employer it's the employer's decision at the end, so they make the final decision.
So can you tell us a little bit more about the application process to the uni?
But to Queen Mary. Yeah. So, I mean, for undergraduate, obviously you would apply through the UCAS system. So we have many different, so you can go online and you can speak to a consultant about the different undergraduate career opportunities available. Degree opportunities. They are normally 3-year degrees. You can study a year in industry, which makes the degree 4-year. We also have a really good year abroad option. So one of the things that is sometimes popular with Vietnamese students is for example, in our School of Economics and Finance, you can do a year abroad. And as part of that year abroad, we work with some prestigious universities in America, like Columbia. So that makes the degree 4 years, but you can go away for a year to study a year in the States. Now, what's the advantage of that? It gives you kind of, obviously, a different life experience. You've been overseas. I think students tend to have a good time in the States, and it's, again, like a nice addition to their CV. But you pay a Queen Mary tuition fee. So the United States is more expensive than the UK, but you would just pay the tuition fee to Queen Mary. You would not pay to like Columbia or another US university. So from monetarily, that's a little, you can have a US study experience. It's not a full degree, it's just a year abroad, but it's nonetheless like a nice opportunity.
Yeah, students have to study 4 years if they want to go to the US study for 1 year.
Yeah, normally, yeah.
So you said that the student want to go to the uni, they have to apply through the UCAS. Is there any other way to go to the uni?
So postgraduate students and foundation students can apply just on they apply directly to the university. So you speak to a consultant, and you just provide the documents, and they submit the application directly to the institution. Then what happens is you get a student portal, and all of the application is managed through that portal. So your consultant could be able to upload your documents to the portal for our admissions team to review. You would also you don't need to have an IELTS test or English language at the point of application, but you would be asked for it before you can confirm your offer. Okay, so that is something that sometimes students misunderstand, is that they think they have to have the IELTS before they apply. Like many of our programs, you need IELTS level 6 or 6.5, but you just have to have that before you confirm your place. Okay, so normally the admissions will be based upon obviously your academic background. So that could be your A-levels, your IB, your foundation program, or your undergraduate degree. And then we would obviously ask for a personal statement as part of that, like an application statement, and then the English language certification.
So when you apply to the UCAS, when you just look at the student application, which one is more important, the A-level result or the personal statement?
So we look at both, but the A-level, like the academic result, is the door opener. So if a student is like below the entry requirement by 2 grades and they have a really good personal statement, it's not going to matter, because the predicted grade or whatever the academic score needs to be at that level. So the academic achievement is definitely the most, but where in competitive programs like medicine, like law, like economics, it's important that this statement, some universities in the UK don't take much of the personal statement into account anymore, whereas at Queen Mary we do read the personal statement.
Okay, so with a lot of students who do the application to the university, they have other actual activity and then to make up their profile as well. Do you look at the student other actual activity, or do you just focus more on the A-level IB result?
I think it's useful to have, if the extracurricular is relevant to the degree. So, for example, like law, if a student is a member of Modern United Nations Society, or is participating in a debating society, or has done some public speaking, or I think that's relevant, and kind of outstanding kind of sports achievements always good to hear about. But we don't need kind of a great deal on that. the main thing of the personal statement is that the student has an interest in this subject, perhaps the reasons why, or kind of any background research they've done. We don't expect the students to know what they want to do in the future. That's part of what university is kind of opening the mind a little bit to different possibilities and different career standpoints. But obviously we want to know that, for example, if a student's interested in law, why are they interested in law, and like how might their background make them a good law student is essentially what they're looking for. So it's like applying for a job, right? So you don't necessarily, it's like a formal it's kind of a formal process, formal response. So yeah.
So that means you don't need the student to do EPQ, extended project qualification. You don't need that, right?
For EPQ, it depends on the subject. I think it's like EPQ. I know in the past it's not something that we've kind of taken into account, but that is up to the admissions office, so that may change. So I don't want to tell students not to do something. I think if it's valuable, some of the universities may take it into account. We may take it into account in the future. So I think it's probably best to deal with the school and just what they think, and because I can't speak for all the universities, but I think the best thing to do is, if you have a question like that, is to check the degree area and then contact the university to say, is this something you'd take into account for the application?
So the EPQ, you just you don't do the interview as well, right?
For some programs like medicine, yes, but most undergraduate programs we do not require an interview. No. Medicine and dentistry are the two that we do. Because they're very, very selective. But most of our programs are just based on academic achievement and application.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have scholarship? Do the school have scholarship for the international student?
Yep. So we have different scholarships available. So for undergraduate students, we have awards up to £12,000. So that's normally £3,000 per year of study. And that's awarded automatically should the student exceed their offer by a grade. So, for example, if you have an offer from Queen Mary at AAB, at A level, and you get AAA in your final score, you would automatically be awarded that scholarship. No application. It's just an automatic award. For postgraduate study, we have awards of £5,000, £7,000 and £10,000. Now, if you have a first class degree, which in Vietnam is considered like an 8 out of 10 or a GPA of 3.4 and above, then you can apply for the 7,000 and the 10,000. If you have below that, even 2.2, you can apply for the £5,000 scholarship. And there is a short application process for that, but it's like, again, it's kind of based on your academic attainment. So if you have a first class, you would normally get a 7,000 or a 10,000. If you have a 2.1 or a high 2.2, you get 5,000. And then there are school-specific scholarships. So there are scholarships in economics and finance and law. It's worth checking our scholarship page. They run different application timelines. So some are still open, some are closed this year. But for example, we have 2 50% awards in our law school for the LLM. We have some 100% opportunities in MSc finance. Sorry, it's MSc. I think it's MSc economics. There's one degree in the economics and finance school where they offer up to 20,000, I think. So there are different scholarships available, and it's part of kind of researching is what you might be able to apply for. For those scholarships, you're going to need a high score because they're going to be competitive.
So with those scholarships, it's like 50 or 100% scholarship. Is just only for postgraduate, for the master degree?
Only for master's degree.
For undergraduates, do you have like other than the normal scholarship, like automatically when they get the offer, they got the scholarship? Do you have the higher scholarship than that?
There are some, but there's not they tend to be very specific, related to certain degrees and certain backgrounds. Like there is not kind of a universe. There's nothing for 100% at undergraduate level. No.
Yeah. Like how about a little bit like lower, like 50%? Do you have some kind of scholarship like that for the undergraduates?
No.
So only like 12,000 for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Because and I knew that other university like it's not in the UK but in the Australia, the like University of New South Wales, they do have like science scholarship, which is like 100% scholarship for the tuition fee for the student, and they looking for the student not just with the outstanding academic result, also they have like super curricular as well and extra activity as well. So in Queen Mary you don't have any kind of like scholarship like that for the international student?
Not really. As I say, there are some specific scholarships. It's worth checking. The scholarships change every year, so there are new schemes, there are old schemes. It's worth checking out, but it's not something that we offer at undergraduate level that I'm aware of. Sports and everything, we have many. The difficulty in sports scholarships is that we have many strong athletes at Queen Mary, so we have 70 different sports clubs, different sports, different levels of achievement. So it's very difficult to say this person's a better sports person, that sports. You know what I mean? It's better to say an excellent tennis player is better than an excellent footballer. You know, it's very kind of judgment based. So I think we undergraduate level, it's just kind of the academic. It's an overall funding package for all of our students, so it's open to everybody, and it's based on academic attainment. I think that's one of the things at Queen Mary is that we have a strong academic reputation. We want strong students to come to us, so we incentivize through academic selection, through academic merit, and we don't really seek to devalue our brand by kind of letting everybody in. I think the strength in saying no to everybody and kind of trying to recruit the best through merit-based scholarships.
In the uni, you got I understand that the law and medicine is really difficult to study and to also to get in the uni. Do you have like apart from the application from UCAS, do the student have to do any kind of test to get in law and medicine major?
In medicine, they have to do the UCAT test. So that's a kind of aptitude test they need to take before they submit the application. So the medicine and dentistry applications close in early October for the following September. So they have to do the UCAT test in the summer before they apply. For law, some Russell Group universities will ask for the LNAT test. That's not something that Queen Mary requires. And again, that goes back to accessibility. I think it's just our law school School of Law has taken the view that we don't need that. We just look for the potential of the student. We look for the academic achievement. But if you're applying for law at some other Russell Group universities, it is worth knowing that some of them will require the LNAT test. We don't.
The student who study law and medicine at Queen Mary after their graduation, do you think that easy for them to get a job in the UK? I mean,
again, I don't want to fudge the question a little bit, but it is up to the individual. Like I think the global economy is not in a great place at the minute. So because of the war in the Middle East, and we have like inflation, we have AI disrupting parts of the job market. So look, I think it would be. I can't sit here and say that every student that comes to Queen Mary is going to get a job in the career sector they want to, because I don't believe that's the case. And I think it's important that universities are upfront with that. What I would say is that we equip students with the tools to provide the best opportunity for them to find work in that sector. We also look to build resilience in kind of job searching. I think students at the minute, when you're applying for a job, it's not. I think the labour market has been better than it is now. So you're going to need to be resilient and not to take disappointment to heart. Like, you're going to have different strategies to find your way in the market. So it might, in terms of being your first job after graduation, it might not be it's unlikely to be a dream job, because that happens not that frequently. It does happen, but it's so if your dream job's here, you take this job to kind of set you on the path, right? And I think that's something that students need to be aware of. I think that's something of like the younger generation. I think it's always something like they expected to kind of take the degree and sort of immediately be in the position that they want to. Whereas life, I think, is a little bit harder. I thought that, and it's kind of like you just need to have that resilience. And I think that's what working with the careers team, building your soft skills, learning about cultural training, interview practice, preparing your CV, interview preparation, all of that helps. And I think looking at skills that are going to be relevant in a kind of changed workforce as well. So I talked earlier about relationship management. So AI is going to change some jobs. We know that. But there are jobs that AI can't do, will never be able to do. Human-based jobs, right? Sales, marketing, kind of relationship management. So how you use, so in like our School of Computer Sciences and AI, like obviously we teach students how to create programs or whatever, but it's also about using that AI. Yeah, I think it's important that students think about where they want to go. Look at the modules that we offer. We're not teaching the same stuff we were teaching 5 years ago. We react to the modern labour market to make our degrees current and reflective of the modern workplace. So yeah, I think, and when you match that with our geographical location, our networks into companies, into alumni, into training schemes, into internships, it's a strong offering for our students. And I think they're really well positioned to maximise their time in London. Obviously, some students stay in the UK after, some go back to Vietnam, some go elsewhere in the world to work, there are many global companies. So if you get a job in a global company, you'll be offered different posts, maybe back in Asia, maybe in the US, on mainland Europe. I remember I did a webinar over the COVID pandemic with 5 graduates from our LLB program in law, and they were working 5 different continents and 5 different jobs around the world. So that was the idea, was to demonstrate what a law degree, how it opens the doors to different careers that you may not think when you're starting your law degree.
I understand.
So it's I think part of the experience and value of our university is that network, that experience. For example, in our School of Mathematical Sciences, which is obviously a maths-based school, like a lot of students just think we teach maths there. We don't. We do teach maths, but we also teach data science, data analytics, actuarial science. Now, as an 18-year-old, I had no idea what actuarial science was, but it's actually one of our highest earning degree. When a student graduates from there, they're partly qualified to be an actuary. They just need to do a few exams after they graduate, and then they're an actuary. And that is a great opportunity that students are perhaps not aware of. So it's a little bit about research. And I encourage anybody that has strong mathematical skills, which I know a lot of Vietnamese students have, to look at business-based programs within our School of Mathematical Sciences, like financial mathematics, like actuarial science, because they are degrees that have lots of business potential, but they're kind of hidden in the School of Mathematical Sciences.
So I mean that with a student, you mean that with a student who want to do in the business or financial field, but they need to looking for some major that related to math, right?
Yeah, I think students sometimes have the perception about maths at university that it's just more maths, but actually it's about the application and use of mathematics in the world of business. And that's a shortage skill, particularly in the UK. Like the UK struggles with mathematics to a certain extent. It's not the most popular degree choice. So actually international students tend to perform really well in the School of Mathematical Sciences. And as I say, like data analytics, data science, actuarial science, that's looking at data, looking at the maths behind it and applying it to the world of business. So that's a very important skill. Like AI can maybe number crunch a little bit, some of the maths in the back office.
Yeah.
But how do you use that data? How do you talk through that data confidently? You still need to know what it means, you know?
Yeah.
So I think thinking tactically about that is important, because a lot of students just think, I want to do business management, and that's a great degree choice. You can do HR, marketing, accountancy, finance, management theory, all of that. But if you have like a unique skill, like you're really good at maths, then maybe you should think about how I can use that skill, because by using that, you may be in a management position, and it's just something you learn through doing, you know?
Yeah. Do you think that the student with that major have a higher opportunity with the job and also higher salary as well?
It can do. I mean, something like actuarial science is one of the highest earning degrees after graduation. So it is worth checking that out, the BSc in actuarial science, if you have strong maths. And it's taught by like former investment bankers and really strong kind of city career, people who've worked in a city who've made their money, just love teaching at Queen Mary. I think it has, you get into that network as well. So obviously they're successful former business people. They know how finance and economics works. So it's just a different route. It won't be for everybody, because not everybody likes maths, you know?
Yeah.
There are plenty of people who work in business that are not that great at maths, but are really good at relationships and really good at marketing and really good at managing people. So it just depends on the skills. And I think it's worth looking into. Like, I think it's really important for students to do the research while they're in Vietnam, to speak to counsellors, to attend, like we have an online open day for postgraduate students. We have online kind of materials available, like this is what you can study at Queen Mary, these are the different options. And take time to really research, because it's an important decision.
So what major, so uni now is a really high demand for the student, international students, especially with Vietnamese students?
So I think economics and finance is the most popular. So economics and finance programs, then followed by business management, marketing. Then also we do like international relations, politics, law is very popular. We have a lot of students. Those are the top 3 schools, I would say. Then we have at postgraduate level, we have the MA TESOL, which is English language teaching. But then we get students for kind of all disciplines. So we do engineering, computer science, AI, kind of supply chain management, a lot of different opportunities for the students. And we're a pretty generalist university. We offer pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So we get obviously that's where I would say that the core of our Vietnamese students go to, but that's not excluding the other schools where we have kind of applications from Vietnamese students studying there. We also have like a really active Vietnamese society at Queen Mary. So it's Viet Soc, Queen Mary. So that's a good way to they have an Instagram page, and it's a good way to kind of see what they do, what our current Vietnamese students. It's a good way to meet socially outside of the classroom, to meet other Vietnamese from your hometown or from your district or wherever. And one of the advantages of coming to London is that there are other London universities. We're located in a really vibrant area of London with a strong Vietnamese community, but there are other Vietnamese societies. So within London, there's a strong community that you'd be coming to join as a Vietnamese in London.
Thank you so much for the time today, and I'm sure that all information that you share will benefit the to the parent and the student who watched this video. And thank you so much for the time.
No problem. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll just say that it's a real pleasure to speak to the Vietnamese families, the students, and I think what I hope to get across today is that we're a really good choice for your son or daughter to study in the UK, to enjoy London. Obviously, we want our students to have a good time when they're here, to feel part of the Queen Mary community, to kind of educate themselves, to grow academically, but I think also to kind of develop their career opportunities, gain their experience, gain relevant market experience while they're students in London. I think that's really, really valuable. Every time I go back to Vietnam, I see the economic growth, the development of the country, and I think it's invaluable kind of connectivity between London and Vietnam is something that I'm really proud to facilitate and for our students to tap into, and it's a real pleasure to see them grow and develop in the UK, but also when I visit, I meet with alumni back in Vietnam for students that I've spoken to when they were thinking about coming to London, and see how their futures have developed after coming here.
Như vậy, thành tích học thuật không nói lên tất cả. Cơ hội là ngang nhau, quan trọng là chúng ta có biết tận dụng nó hay không.